really enjoyed being a part of this journey and all the people that I met, the remarkable people that I met and interviewed. And by now, for me, this is my next chapter in life.
I want to see how hard he hits, Mike. I really want to see, bro. Let's see all the legends, the myths, because you're Iron Mike Tyson, but I have an iron chin.
You grew up watching Mike Tyson, and he's one of your greatest fighters of all time. The last thing you want to do is see him get back in the ring at 58 years old and lose to Jake Paul.
Mike Tyson has finally responded to the recent brain damage warning ahead of his much-anticipated fight with Jake Paul. However, Eddie Hearn didn't mince words when delivering his harsh evaluation of the forthcoming bout between Tyson and Paul.
I don't want to... It's difficult, because when you give... Like, you know my opinion, I've given interviews about it before, but if you say anything negative, you're a hater. I'm just like, I get the event. I know what people want to see. They want to see freak shows, and that's what it is. It's a freak show.
Eddie Hearn didn't hold back in his critical assessment of the upcoming fight, conveying that although he understands the event's nature and knows what the audience seeks, he considers it more of a spectacle than a serious athletic contest. Hearn further added, "It'll do really well. People will tune in, but it's not for everyone. If you grew up watching Mike Tyson, and he's one of your greatest fighters of all time, the last thing you want to do is see him get back in the ring at 58 years old when the fight takes place on July 20th and lose to Jake Paul." He acknowledged the likelihood of the event's success due to public interest, but expressed reservations about its appeal to traditional boxing fans, especially those who revered Mike Tyson in his prime. Hearn said, "The general consensus from the casual audience is, oh, that's a bit of a freak show, I'll watch that. Who knows what's going to be on the card? Maybe it's a great night of boxing. We'll see." Hearn implied that the event, viewed by some as a mere entertainment, rather than a legitimate sports event, might still be successful if it manages to combine a compelling undercard with the main spectacle. He remained non-committal about his own plans to watch the fight, suggesting his decision would depend on the quality of the undercard. Asked whether he will watch the fight, Hearn replied, We'll see what's on the undercard. I don't know." On the other hand, the verbal duel between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson has soared to unparalleled levels. Recently, Paul directed a witty dig at the boxing legend via social media. He revealed a new facial tattoo on Instagram, mirroring Tyson's famous ink with precision. However, Paul's next move proved to be the ultimate knockout blow. As you can see, the scene shifted to reveal a man with a noticeable portion of his ear missing, swiftly followed by Jake Paul himself playfully holding a fake ear in his mouth. This playful nod to Tyson's notorious 1997 disqualification against Evander Holyfield struck a chord. While Tyson may have shrugged it off, it certainly didn't escape the notice of Holyfield, who had a witty comeback prepared for Jake Paul. Almost 3 decades ago, the world of boxing was rocked by a moment of sheer disbelief known as the Bite Fight. In an act that stunned spectators worldwide, Mike Tyson, famously nicknamed Iron Mike, unexpectedly bit into Evander Holyfield's ear during their highly anticipated rematch in 1997. The rivalry between these two legendary fighters was characterized by intense competition and perpetual controversy. Holyfield had previously dethroned Tyson in 1996, making the rematch a pivotal opportunity for Tyson to reclaim his coveted title. Tyson's fury eclipsed his tactical acumen, culminating in the notorious disqualification when he infamously bit off a portion of Holyfield's ear. This incident became fodder for jests by the problem child. Nevertheless, Holyfield swiftly retaliated against Paul's mockery of the ear-biting incident.
Keep my ear out your mouth. Now that's the real deal.
As you can see, Holyfield was observed scrutinizing Jake Paul's footage before humorously parodying the promotional video for the Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson bout. He punched a duplicate Jake Paul and said, "Keep my ear out of your mouth." The video doesn't end there. It gets more interesting as it features a cameo of Jake Paul's rival, Hasim Rahman Jr. Rahman Jr. nods his head and says, "Now that's a real deal." Meanwhile, at 57, Tyson's return to the ring has sparked concerns over safety, yet his trainer, Rafael Cordero, is diligently addressing these worries. leaving no stone unturned. In preparation for the bout, he said, "We shouldn't be worried. He knows how to fight. You can see the fire in his eyes when he trains, and he will never give less than that. I truly believe it is going to be a great show. Mike is going to step into the ring as the old Mike Tyson, and he's going to try and knock out Jake from the beginning to the end." Cordero emphasizes Tyson's pedigree, a two-time world champion who's faced the best. So Tyson's trainer believes that this fight will be just like any other fight the fans have seen. In addition, the status of the fight, whether it will be officially sanctioned as a professional bout or categorized as an exhibition, is currently uncertain along with Tyson's health issues. However, his trainer Cordero stated, "I believe people don't have to be concerned about his health and safety. You're talking about a guy who was a two-time world champ, the guy that had 29 fights in 2 years. When he steps inside the ring, he knows what to do." Cordero observed a relentless spark igniting within the International Boxing Hall of Famer as he tirelessly trained. He confidently asserted that this summer, spectators would witness the resurgence of the legendary Tyson as he stepped back into the ring with unwavering determination. Meanwhile, Bernard Hopkins stepped into the spotlight as the newest voice opposing the upcoming matchup. In an exclusive interview with Fight Hub TV, the legendary International Boxing Hall of Famer shared his insights on the bout, expressing his thoughts. He said, "I don't like it. I don't like it. I look at Mike. I look at him differently in a way of my era, like people looked at Muhammad Ali, and I looked at Ali differently too. Marvin Hagler, Sugar, Ray Robinson. I don't like it." Hopkins criticized the match as leaning more towards entertainment than serious sport, likening it to a sideshow that might only offer minimal, genuine athletic competition. He firmly stated that he had no intention of watching the fight, humorously noting that watching two turtles race would be more thrilling for him. Hopkins further added, "I think it's becoming more of a sideshow with some sweat and maybe some blood, if we're lucky. I won't watch it. I could watch two turtles race and be more excited." Hopkins was questioned about whether his remarks stemmed from the generation difference between the two individuals. To this, he replied, "It's because of how I look at Mike Tyson. I've shared not only the ring with Mike Tyson a few times, but the era, a little tip of the era. I just think it degrades him. You're getting $100 million, $200 million. Please, okay." Social media was set ablaze earlier this month with the revelation of the impending match, igniting fervent discussions over the eventual victor and Jake's persistent challenge of more seasoned fighters. Yet, amidst the flurry of speculation, whispers also surfaced regarding the speculated regulations governing their forthcoming showdown.
The Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight might not be happening anymore after the insane rules for this fight were leaked and Jake Paul received massive pushback from the internet. When people found out that Jake Paul was going to be able to fight at a heavier weight, untested for drugs, with headgear, and with the ability to tag his brother in at the same time, they hated it.
As you can see here, a TikTok video posted by the user MorePick'emPetey suggested that Paul would be mandated to wear headgear, akin to that of an amateur boxer, whereas Mike Tyson wouldn't wear any protection at all. Not only that, Petey went on to assert something even more outlandish. He suggested that Jake could tag in his older brother Logan Paul if he found himself running low on energy. Jake quickly brushed off the idea as ridiculous.
In fact, the pushback was so strong that Jake himself denied it. Check this out.
Just a quick message to the people who are complaining about the rules of me versus Mike Tyson. Some TikToker made a video making up all these fake rules. Me and Logan tag teaming him, us wearing headgear, all of this bullshit. If you believe that, you're a fucking idiot and you shouldn't be allowed to.
But now that Jake has backtracked and stated that these will not be the rules, he's faced with an even worse reality, having to face Mike Tyson one-on-one without protective gear and a heavier weight.
Paul's associate, Nakasa Badarian, likewise dispelled speculations regarding the utilization of headgear during the match. He said, "Unequivocally, there is no headgear for Paul versus Tyson. Haters spreading fake news, but it won't stop the tens of millions of views." Recently, Jake Paul addressed and dismissed the rumors circulating about him in a podcast. He expressed his dismay at the widespread belief in these baseless claims, calling the situation absurd and lamenting the stupidity he perceives in society today.
So it's so sad that like millions of people believe that. It's fucking absurd. Like, first of all, there's obviously none of that's true. Like, no
Well, they will
headgear.
see if you come in the ring, if you have headgear on or not.
No, but they're so fucking stupid. Like, anyone who believes that shit should not be allowed to vote.
He firmly stated that the rumors were completely untrue and criticized those who believed them, suggesting that such gullibility was a sign of a larger problem with human intelligence and rationality in the current era.
There should be like these, I thought of this, I was like, there should be these hidden tests throughout life that like qualify you to be able to vote or not. And they don't know that they're like taking a test. But like the fact that these people are not only driving around on our streets, but like they're able to vote, bro. they're out there driving cars. How could they? They're dumb as fuck. And it's sad. We live in a fucked up world. Humans are getting more and more stupid every single day. It's crazy, bro.
Nevertheless, additional speculation suggesting that the pair might opt for more substantial boxing gloves remains unverified, leaving the question of official sanctioning still unresolved as of the current moment. On the other hand, Conor McGregor has been vocal in expressing his thoughts on the upcoming Paul versus Tyson bout in recent weeks, echoing the sentiments of numerous UFC professionals, fighters, and enthusiasts. Nevertheless, it appears that the budding pugilist has reached his limit with the incessant verbal jabs and is convinced that envy is the driving force behind it all.
You're saying the interest is low for the fight, but the last fight you announced, there was 1,000 articles written in a multiple day span to, people talking about your last fight. In that same multiple day span, there was 10,000 articles written about this. So just no fight ever has done these numbers in terms of like face-off views, like Instagram reels, just on our main pages alone.
Paul is confident that his upcoming boxing bout will surpass McGregor's showdown with Floyd Mayweather in terms of sales. He's armed with a rebuttal for those he deems as naysayers. Yet, it's possible that the statistics he's citing may be slightly inaccurate. Jake Paul recently took a stab at quantifying the plethora of articles circulating regarding Conor McGregor's latest fight declaration. Naturally, the tally wasn't spot on, as numerous netizens were quick to highlight. Nonetheless, amidst the discrepancy, Paul manages to raise a thought-provoking observation.
50, 60 million Instagram views on both of our posts, not to mention every single other sports page posting it. That's never happened in the history of the sport to reach those numbers. So this is, in my mind, the biggest fight the world will ever see. Again, because of the Netflix. What?
Moreover, Paul also called him an old head, given how long he's been in the sport. Paul estimates that around 1,000 pieces were penned discussing McGregor's recent bout announcement against Dustin Poirier, where he unfortunately suffered a notorious shin injury. Nonetheless, the actual count might hover around half that figure, more or less. Could it be that the anticipation surrounding his bout with Mike Tyson is intensifying? Perhaps so. It's undeniable that the significance of this boxing showdown looms large. Not only does it mark the comeback of one of the all-time heavyweight greats to the ring, but it also presents an intriguing matchup for various reasons.
There's no reason for them to be jealous. Like, I get people are jealous, but it's like, this is helping the sport of boxing. Like, isn't that what people should want to see? Like, getting more kids into the gyms, spanning 2 generations together. Like doing it on the biggest scale possible.
Not when they get paid $5,000 a fight.
On the other hand, Mike Tyson has declared his hiatus from the Hot Boxin' podcast to focus entirely on his upcoming boxing bout against Jake Paul. Tyson embarked on his podcasting journey alongside his pal Sebastian Joseph Day a couple of years back, but the decision has now been made to bid farewell to the podcasting realm. Tyson shared, "Ladies and gentlemen, these are my final recordings of Hot Boxin'. I really enjoyed being part of this journey and all of the people that I met, the remarkable people that I met in interviews. This is my next chapter in life. Please enjoy the following social on my website for my next venture. I love you all." Tyson engaged in conversations with numerous renowned figures on his program, including UFC's Joe Rogan and wrestling icon The Undertaker. However, his attention is now directed towards preparing for his upcoming bout against Paul. However, Dana White, the head honcho of UFC, has vehemently criticized Jake Paul's decision to step into the ring with seasoned boxer Mike Tyson. Dana White remarked, "He gets mad when I do this, but Mike's 60, man. I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Who gives a shit what I think? It's not my fight. I love Mike Tyson personally as a friend, and he's one of my favorite athletes of all time." White showed his concern about the significant age gap between the fighters, implying his unease with the idea of someone Tyson's age participating in such a physically demanding event. However, he maintained a stance of detached curiosity, suggesting he's open to seeing what Tyson could achieve with proper training, despite his general disapproval of such age disparities in the ring. White added, "I don't know. Let's see what he can go in there and put together a training camp and come in. I don't like to see guys fighting at a 31-year age difference during that fight. You guys know what I think of that stuff." White made a notable appearance on the Pound for Pound podcast, where the topic of the fight arose once again. During the discussion, he was questioned about Paul's intentions regarding establishing himself as a credible fighter. White replied, "But he doesn't. What Jake wants is to make money. The people who follow Jake Paul don't buy Jake Paul's fights, so Jake Paul has to fight people who can actually sell PPVs. As for Tyson's role in taking on the bout," he continued, "Mike's a grown A-man. He can do whatever the f*** he wants, and I'm going to stay out of Mike's business. Dana White shared his thoughts with a touch of reluctance, pointing out that despite his reservations, his opinions might not hold much weight since it's not his fight to manage. Meanwhile, WWE Hall of Famer Rob Van Dam expressed his enthusiastic support for the upcoming showdown on One of a Kind. He finds the entire concept of the match fascinating and engaging, particularly due to the polarized reactions it has been receiving from the public, which he compares to the divisive nature of politics. Dam said, "The whole concept is intriguing and exciting. The feedback has really pulled me into it because it's almost like politics, where the people seem so split and everyone is so positive that they're right." Moreover, Dam has observed a wide range of opinions, from those questioning the legitimacy of a younger fighter choosing to face a 60-year-old retired boxer, to those who firmly believe in Mike Tyson's enduring strength and capability to inflict damage despite his age. This division of opinion has, according to Dam, added to his interest in the event, highlighting the passionate and varied responses from fans on both sides of the debate. He added, "I've seen so many comments about, man, he's going to fight a 60-year-old man. Wait, he's saying he wants to be a serious boxer and he's going after a retired 60-year-old? No one's going to take him seriously. Come on, dude." And there's the other ones like, nah, Tyson is going to hurt him, no matter what. That's Mike Tyson. Both sides, like I said, are just like politics. In an exclusive TalkSport.com column, Ben Shalom gave his take on Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson and previews a massive night in Wales. He said, "In the grand scheme of things, this bout is merely an exhibition, meant for entertainment rather than strict adherence to tradition." He expressed concerns over rumors that the bout could be sanctioned as a professional match, suggesting that such a development could fundamentally alter its nature and implications. Shalom added, "Nevertheless, I've heard disconcerting rumors circulating suggesting that it might receive authorization as a professional match. If such a scenario arises, it may indeed cross the threshold, but until that point, it should be approached with cautious skepticism." Moreover, Shalom acknowledged the wide array of public reactions to the fight, indicating his understanding and empathy towards the varied opinions and frustrations expressed by fans and observers online. Shalom expressed, "I empathize with everyone's frustrations regarding the altercation, and I've observed the diverse range of reactions expressed across online platforms. However, despite the disapproval from some fans and pros, it's evident that this matchup is poised to attract significant attention and generate a substantial viewership." A former UFC fighter predicts that the clash between Tyson and Paul will shatter viewership records, making it the most watched fight in history. Brendan Schaub, on a recent episode of The Schaub Show, made a statement that might sound far-fetched to many.
I'm taking these like lower level fights of guys we don't know. That's him, even though he says he doesn't care, that's him wanting to get validation from the boxing fan base, which he's never going to get. And you're sure as hell not going to get it knocking out Mike Tyson. They're going to hate you even more.
The host of the podcast emphasized the unfairness of juxtaposing pay-per-view sales with the viewership numbers drawn by Netflix. Nonetheless, it's been reported that Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor captivated an audience of approximately 50 million viewers in the United States alone. However, with the upcoming Tyson-Paul fight slated for streaming on Netflix rather than being a PPV event, the potential reach of the fight remains uncertain. Schaub, during his podcast, went on to state that the fight could exceed the likes of Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather in terms of viewership. He stated, "What was the biggest UFC fight ever? Yeah, 2.4 million? They're gonna beat that. And that's pay-per-view. Boy, that's big. And then Manny Pacquiao and Floyd were 4 million? Mayweather-McGregor, 4.3 million. The ex-UFC heavyweight went on to elaborate that given the vast user base of approximately 260 million across the globe on the streaming platform, he anticipates a minimum of 10 million viewers for the upcoming bout featuring Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. However, despite the impressive potential viewership, it falls short in comparison to the colossal audience figures witnessed during the showdowns between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao in 2015, as well as Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor in 2017. Meanwhile, Schaub also talked about why this fight is so important for the industry.
Jake Paul, and you hate the thought of him cold cocking a 57-year-old Mike Tyson and knocking him out. In hindsight, it's as messed up as this to say, him starching Mike Tyson is actually better for the sport. Because it gets them in and it's going to go viral.
Of course. Yeah.
Viral. And then Netflix is like, cool, yeah, we got the money. They have all the money. And they're going to pay for the UFC. That's what we want.
During a recent conversation with the Sports Rush, UFC analyst Somesh Kamra dismissed the forthcoming bout between Paul and Tyson as a mere spectacle, expressing his lack of interest in it compared to crossover fights involving Conor McGregor and Francis Ngannou, which he finds more captivating. Kamra said, "To be honest, I call these fights gimmicky fights. I don't have any interest in this kind of fight, and I don't watch it either. But I do like crossover fights like Francis versus Fury or Francis versus Joshua." According to Kamra, this impending bout is merely merely a spectacle for fans, devoid of the gravity seen in crossover clashes like McGregor versus Ngannou. In his perspective, some may call them gimmicky fights, but they're not really that, especially considering that Francis Ngannou is a professional MMA fighter who transitioned into boxing, similar to Conor McGregor. This fight is not just a clash in the ring, but a reflection of modern celebrity culture, sports marketing, and the evolving narrative of combat sports. Whether for better or worse, the match between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson will undoubtedly leave an indelible mark on the history of boxing. So, that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos.